speeches. My name is Dr. Ambika Shetty. I'm Managing Director at Geethanjali Eye and ENT Hospital, Trivandrum. And my topic for today is marketing strategies for a small to mid-level practice. I thank AIOS ARC for giving me this opportunity today. So I belong to this hospital, which has about 38 years of legacy. It was started by my father-in-law, Dr. Balakrishnan Nair, and it is predominantly known for its ENT practice. So the ophthalmology department was started by me in the year 2013, and we are now in our 10th year. So what is marketing? Marketing is the activity for creating, communicating, delivering, and exchanging offerings that have value for customers, clients, partners, and the society at large. So before we start marketing, we need to learn the rules of the game. As we know, Indian Medical Council has set very clear guidelines for doctors. That is, one can engage in marketing when one starts a practice, changes their practice, there's a change of address, or there's a temporary absence from duty. Also, there are some things that are considered unethical. The doctor's photographs, achievements, and associations should not be displayed in the establishment. So when we start marketing, there are some things that we need to pay attention to. That is the price, placement, product, promotion, and most importantly, patients. I'll be going through it one by one. So the most important concern for patients is price. So it's always best to try to offer the best care at the lowest prices which are possible for us. The next thing is the location. It's preferable to take a location which is central and is accessible to most people. The working hours should try to accommodate patients who are also coming from their offices. We should try to encourage more walk-in and same-day appointments. And it's very important to build a network with your local communities, such as Residents Association, the local schools. The next important the next important tool is the product. So it's very important for a person to have a pharmacy, opticals, lab, and most of the ocular diagnostics, so that patient doesn't have to go from one hospital to another to avail these facilities. So when one starts promoting, it is always better to go stepwise. The easiest is to print pamphlets. These pamphlets can be circulated with your local newspaper vendor. It can also be given to apartments, and you can request them to put it in the post boxes. The next easiest tool in this digital era is the social media. If one wants to build a good patient base, then Facebook and Instagram are very effective tools. With Twitter, one can build relationships with your colleagues. And the very good advantage of a platform like YouTube is that one can make educative videos. You can make educative videos on important eye diseases such as glaucoma or cataract. And also you can record your videos and upload it on YouTube. That will also improve one's viewership and visibility. Coming to the digital media, the most important foundation of an organization is its website. The website should be mobile friendly, user friendly, and one should spend a fair amount of time in building a website which showcases all your facilities. If one can add some patient testimonials and reviews, that will improve your credibility. This is an age-old thing that everyone knows. The most important tool for the organization is the patient. So whichever era it is, it doesn't change. The word of mouth from the patient is the most important marketing tool for you. So right from the time the patient enters the hospital to the patient leaving the hospital, there are n number of interactions that happen, right from the security guard to the reception to the OPD coordinator. So one should make sure that all the staff are trained to be courteous to the patient, and the doctor must emphasize on patient education in explaining the disease and giving them the treatment options and also advising them what is best for them. We can also concentrate on health screening. Identifying new patients can be done with the patients who walked in itself. Like when you counsel glaucoma, you can ask them how many siblings you have and advise them that the siblings also can undergo screening. So eventually, once we follow these steps, we can grow into a brand. So the basic foundation in building an organization is the mission statement, the operational mission, and the strategy platform. So one has to identify what is a mission statement. So basically that is the customer need that the organization attempts to serve. So if you look at the Arvind Eye Care system, their vision is to eliminate needless blindness. So depending on the population, on the demographic situation, you can see what is the pressing need for that particular demographic profile and then address that need which you can serve. The next is the operational mission. So once you've identified in this particular demographic profile, these are the problems that exist. So then next thing you do is, so what do you do about the problem and what is your unique role? How can you contribute to the situation? Based on this, you decide the strategy platform. So you identify who are these patients who are basically coming into my organization. And then depending on that, you build program and service development. So in our case, we are situated in a city called Trivandrum, which is actually it's almost like a temple town, you can say. So we very frequently organize camps with the local authorities, and there is a Padmanabha Swami Temple Trust, and this is one of the pictures from the camps that we held at the temple. So apart from this, when we went to launch the cornea department, we celebrated the National Eye Donation Fortnight. And this was through a very unique virtual event. This had very far-reaching impacts. We had a virtual painting competition. For this, we got entries even from foreign countries. So this was something that gave us a lot of visibility. So when the pandemic hit us, we ventured into teleconsultation, and also at the same time, we were fortunate to get the NABH Accreditation. So even these milestones were shared in our website and social media to get enough visibility. And as I said, the most important foundation for an organization is the team. So one should always focus and give enough time to educate your team members on your facilities, on the problems that our patients are facing, and also listen to their feedback. So there's this one more thing that we did when we launched the retina department. We released some posters which gave education about diabetic retinopathy and retinopathy of prematurity. These small steps gave us a lot of visibility, and there were a lot of inquiries because some people had not heard of these conditions, and we got a lot of inquiries for this. Even something as small as World Disability Day or a festival like Pongal and Deepavali can be places where we can market ourselves in a subtle way. Apart from this, there can be on certain important days, consultants can give even webinars because it's a pandemic situation, live presentations are not possible. So school children can be taught about important aspects such as eye donation. in this digital era, it is very important for us to get online visibility. So if your patients are happy with your service, you can request them to give some good reviews. So good Google reviews give a lot of visibility to the hospital. Most patients who are coming in for the first time, they tend to check your Google reviews and come. So unless one focuses on building a good review, most of the time we see that by default there are some reviews. So that might not be very appealing. So if they're happy patients, you can always request them to give you some good reviews. The next thing is associating with organizations. So here we have associated with the Retired Bank Officers Organization, Innerwheel, Rotary. So these organizations give you a good platform for networking and visibility. And when it comes to school children, there is so much of enthusiasm. So we have conducted some educational workshops for them, where we had models of the eye and ENT, and the children had come to our campus, and they kind of understood and asked questions about binocularity, stereopsis, and physiology. So we also conduct workshops and educate children about how to use digital devices smartly. Also conduct workshops for IT professionals on how to take breaks and avoid getting dry eyes. So our local activities from the local club is also a place where the hospitals can get visibility by participating along with your banners. So Glaucoma Walk was one such event which was held very often before the pandemic struck us. Then apart from this, we can encourage and also take our staff to conferences so that they are also actively involved in upgrading their qualifications. And one more thing, to bring cheer and happiness in the hospital, it's always important to celebrate festivals, and this can again be shared in our social media platforms. So the most important thing in setting up your practice and the organization is you have to clearly understand which kind of modality you want to take while marketing your product, whether you are into sales or what kind of, whether you're a market driven person, you are thinking, okay, what image can I build? And there is another type of method where it is a customer driven. You understand what the customer needs, and then based on that, you try to serve. The fourth technique is the market driving technique, which is called the revolutionary marketing, which involves out of the box thinking, and you think, how do I change the rules of the game? So once you understand the other three techniques, then you can go into a market driving strategy, or one can adapt a combination of the other three. So with this, I come to an end of my presentation. I would like to conclude that most of you would have now heard of the temple Padmanabha Swami. So, but a few years ago, it was actually unheard of until the extensive wealth was unearthed and it became a big media news. So that is the power of marketing. So once a small, the uniqueness of that particular thing is brought out to the public, only then it gets maximum visibility and people get to know about it. So I'm sure each one of you have your own uniqueness, which can be brought out and marketed in the best way possible. Thank you.
That was a wonderful talk, Ambika. I mean, it was like walking down the memory lane as you were talking, because what were the things which each of us have done to evolve to reach where we did. And it's a continuous process, and you brought it out beautifully. And we all know that in-house marketing is probably the best thing which you have at your hand, which does not involve too much of revenue, money being spent on the whole process. But I would want Dr. Purendra Prasin and Dr. Rishi Swaroop, of course, Gaurav too, to tell me this. Like, we do understand that when we are doing, we talk of digital marketing and electronic marketing and all that, there is a lot of money which gets involved in some of these things. So do you advise the young evolving practitioners that it is still better to rely on word of mouth and the local smaller flores which you're doing, rather than going all the way into the more expensive digital marketing? The second question which I also have is, like, you have a corporate sitting next to you, they can advertise for the hospital, whereas small practices cannot advertise for themselves. So how would you tell these challenges which a small practice is facing, and how to surface through it? You have to unmute yourself, Dr. Purendra. Yeah.
Thank you, Dr. Chitra. And really, it was a very beautiful and elaborate talk which she has given. And I appreciate. Clearly, I think, to me, the best practice pattern is the happy, satisfied patient base. If your patients are satisfied and they go back satisfied from you, that is the best way to popularize yourself. That is the best marketing tool. So your environment, your patient waiting time, your patient satisfaction rate, your cordial nature, your staff cordialness, and everything should be very, very good. Your optometrist should be good. And to me, if you increase this base, that is the best way. And you should be honest. If you are not doing keratoplasty, you should guide the patient. You please go to such and such person. Dr. Rishi Swaroop is good, and he is a very good cornea person. He practices well, and I've seen his results. So give the confidence to the patient. If you want, I can talk to the person and we can fix your appointment. I have no personal interest, but definitely I just want to help you. So this way you develop goodwill with the patient and confidence of the patient, trust of the patient. This doctor is good. And so always be clear and honest in your advices to the patient, and don't do anything which is pushing you that you have this tool, so you should ask everyone to get OCT done, you should ask everyone to get topography done, fields done. All these things are very important in your practice. These tools are with you, but you should be very, very judicial in practicing this. Coming to your question on digital marketing for the beginners, I think some budget should be there for this part also. And the best thing is to improve your Google rating. I think that is what I feel is simple and easy ways. And in your this thing, you should have your feedback, your testimonials uploaded on your website. So these two are, because nowadays everybody is having a smartphone. So everybody would like to see your rating, whether it is good enough, your availability, and how good you are. So they just see how your practice is and how well you are placed in the social media. So I think some budget should be allocated to digital market also. And coming to your another question, how you to cope, the small practitioners should cope up with the corporate hospitals in the nearby in the city. I think everywhere this is a problem in all the cities, that corporate hospitals, they want to establish themselves very fast and they want to establish in a rapid way. They do everything free, OPD, and good large full page advertisement, and many things they do. The best way, I think, if you have your happy satisfied patient, you should not go into and have a competition that they have given full page ad, so I should also give. No, that is not the way. I think small steps, baby steps, by what she has said, marketing in the societies, doing camps with the various clubs, Inner Wheel, Lions Club, Rotary Club, and all these. These are the small practice things which should be added to your practice. And this way you can establish yourself and popularize yourself.
Yes.
I
Dr.
think-
Rishi, would you want to add?
Yeah, I think Dr. Purendra Bhasin nailed it. There's nothing like patient-to-patient referral.
Mm.
You have to delight your patients, and one patient will bring 5.
Hmm.
And all the things that he said you have to do. You have to be cordial. You have to basically show that you care, and you make them so happy with your service that they should want to bring everybody they know. They should want to tell everybody about the experience in your hospital.
Yes.
And nothing can match that. No social media, no full page ad.
Yeah.
Having said that, digital marketing does have its place, and you don't have to spend money on it. A good social media page, Facebook, Insta, your Google ratings, like Dr. Bhasin mentioned, all of these are free. You just have to kind of keep doing some small videos. Patient testimonials can be very short, few seconds, maybe 60 seconds or 30 seconds, just enough for the attention span. Maybe one point, even if you have to say, talk about digital eye strain, make a very short video, which people will share instead of a long kind of a dragging kind of a video, which nobody will see till the end. So those small things make a lot of difference actually. And you don't really have to spend money on these. And of course, once you become very big, then if you want to get a larger set of eyeballs coming to your digital marketing, then you can spend on Google AdWords and Facebook ads. But otherwise, social media marketing itself is very useful, and you involve your entire team in that exercise. So if you're creating some content, let everybody share it. And then, if something is good, then there's a chance that their friends will share it further. So these small steps are, I think, quite useful, and you'll easily be able to kind of promote yourself.
Some very basic things which we also could do in our own practices, in the early days, you could even have a TV display where you're continuously, you could have some videos running, which is educative to the audience, rather than allowing them to sit and watch some crappy songs. You're self-advertising, and that is your time with these people, and have a floor coordinator or patient coordinator along with the reception desk people and the room sister or staff, because that person will keep on interacting and going in between the patients. And the most important thing we all have to have is the amount of waiting time your patient has, because when the patient is sitting there, he's critically looking into your practice, and you should minimize that waiting time. He should only see the best parts of your practice, and he should go out happy that he did not have to waste more than this amount of time. Maybe you should have one kind of a fast track service. If a patient just needs a basic refraction or just basic evaluations, have a system for that, a detailed evaluation. Like, you should be able to screen which patient goes out of the hospital in the shortest time. Everybody should not be put into the same bracket and dragged on. Yes, Anagha, before we go
Ma'am,
on.
I have a very quick question to all the expert panelists. If you are doing some kind of advertisement, or you are doing either brand outside branding, or some kind of campaign, whatever it is, how do you know how much patients that has actually got you?
That basically, when a patient enters your hospital, you should ask the patient how they came to you.
Yes,
If you
exactly. That was
maintain
what I
that
wanted
thing,
to.
and it should be there on the EMR. Like, you
Yes.
should be making those entries. Even the doctor referrals should be there, because in your earlier days, you would call back the doctor and thank them, or besides sending a note
My
to them.
only earlier days, ma'am.
Even now we do that. Yeah, of course we do that even now. Yeah.
Yeah, this was what I just wanted
Yes.
to.
Yes.
Yeah.